Hello and welcome to Killie TV. We hope that you are continuing to stay safe and well. Now, in this week's episode of Getting to Know You, we are sitting down via video link with a man who started his career as an apprentice at Hibs and has since went on to play for St Mirren, Rangers, Rotherham and Blackpool, as well as getting himself 4 caps for his country and a goal in his debut v Iceland back in 2008. And of course, as contact training has now resumed, there could be only one man to chat to. Please welcome to Killie TV, Kirk Broadfoot. Kirk, thanks a lot for joining us on Killie TV. How have you been enjoying lockdown?
Not particularly enjoying it, to be honest. Yeah, it's been good family time and that, but I think it's going to run its course now. You want a wee bit of normality back. We're getting that. We're getting back into training now. I think it's more harder for the kids, to be honest. They're a wee bit bored now. It was hard for the schooling. I kind of stayed away from that and let the missus deal with that side of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's just good to be back training and that, get a bit of normality back into life. But it was difficult, but on the other hand, it was good family time. But as I say, it's good to get back to normality.
Probably quite a bit of lockdown chat that we'll cover throughout. I was going to sit down kind of getting to know your interview, but one thing I really need to ask you right now is, you're a man that's been famed for a dodgy haircut over the years, and you're sporting a lockdown-esque haircut just now. Have you got a fade in it, or have you been doing it yourself, or is it just falling out because you're getting older?
I tried to get a wee fade in there if you can see it.
Aye, so
I done it myself. I actually didn't touch the top. I let that grow and faded the side, but then it got out of control. And my wife said to me, "You need to chop that," but she didn't mean like as in skinhead it. So I just went up the stairs and got number 4 and romped it. And she's like, "No, I meant just get the scissors and chop a wee bit off it." But actually, that's what it is. It'll grow back, I hope.
So have the kids been giving you tight? Have they been saying, "Dad, what have you done to your hair?" and stuff like that? They've been giving you a good slagging.
Yeah, to be fair, I've been cutting the wee man's hair, practicing him first.
Get your mistakes done in the wee man.
Exactly. So when I cut it, I actually came down the stair and the wee man just stood and shook his head at me and went, "What have you done? What have you done? Look at the size of your brow. What have you done?" I'm like, "Oh, cheers, wee man." Aye.
How old is he?
He's 8. He's only 8. So
owned by an 8-year-old. Nice one, brothers.
Aye, I know.
Not going to lie, it's a good one for a spam on the top of the phone. Not that I can really talk, but it's a good one for a spam on the forehead.
At least I don't know, my headers might go a bit straighter without any hair.
That's a good excuse for that. Just make sure you keep practicing them then. We've got a few of your headers on tape, and some of them have been a bit kind of ski-whiff, so we'll look forward to plenty of training with that then. What's it like then?
Aye.
Obviously, we've spoke to Bucky on the podcast and we spoke to some of the other players as well. And the kind of general consensus is, you kind of mentioned it yourself, it's kind of run its course now. What's it like living in everyone's pocket for all of that time? Has there been the family arguments? Has there been the temper tantrums and the strops?
Um, we've actually been okay, to be fair. I think the first kind of argument we had was actually last week, considering I'd been back at training, which was a bit strange. But we've been okay. Try to go the walks, and wife's been baking, and just the standard stuff that everyone's been doing. Try to keep the kids active. I've tried to get them into doing the Joe Wicks hits, and then try and get them at the back and just keep, because the weather's been good, to be fair. That I think we've been lucky that way. We could get them at the back and play and that, and I'm lucky enough garden that they can go out and play. So we've just been trying to do all the things to keep them active and keep us active, because if you just sit in the house and, as you say, and top each other, you will end up just snapping at everyone.
You're talking there about your wife baking. Now in front of me here, I have got a Empire biscuit, courtesy of our new principal sponsor, Brownings the Bakers. I'm sure we can see that there just now. A very lovely, tasty treat, actually. Does she bake as good an Empire biscuit as this? This is, now you've got to be careful how you say here. Don't want to offend the sponsors or your wife.
No, we've not actually. She's not actually baked Empire biscuits. It's been more the Mars bar cakes and the scones and things like that. But the Brownings biscuits look good. But I do like the Brownings pies. I'm not going to lie. My father-in-law loves them.
Is that why you're a bit of a fitness freak then? You were telling us just before we come on, you've done today's training, you still got an hour and a half to go in the gym. Is that, you've maybe got a wee stash of Brownings Kilmarnock pies in the background and you like to scoff a few? Because it has been probably pretty easy just to eat and eat and eat during lockdown. 3 months with no football.
It is easy to just sit and eat when you're bored. But no, there'd be no point in me training and then going and eating pies after it. I think that defeats the purpose.
Don't know, it looks all right for me. No joke.
To be fair, I think that's the key. They say, what is it? They say 70% in the kitchen, 30% in the gym. So you've got to keep the diet good.
So we've discovered, obviously, then, Kurt, that it's pretty easy for you to put weight on during lockdown. What's your training kind of method been during that time? Like, obviously, there's not really been much contact from the club. That's not been allowed with everyone having been off and things like that. Have you just kind of stuck to a plan and just been out in the gym in the house all the time?
Yeah, pretty much. I just seen it as a chance. I had a bad injury actually before I come back to Kilmarnock. I seen it as a chance to try and improve some of the weaknesses that I found. Obviously, because I had 2 back operations actually before I signed with Kilmarnock. And I was out for the whole year, so I didn't actually get a pre-season the first bit at Kilmarnock, and because I come up 2 days later, played against Ayr United, didn't actually get a pre-season. So I found it that I actually had lost a lot of power round about my hamstrings from my back opposition. So I never really had a chance, a long enough period to build them up. So I actually used the lockdown to try and build them up and try and get back to where I was before my operation. So that's what I've used it for. And lucky enough, I actually feel good now going into pre-season. So looking forward to the season ahead.
How tough could a pre-season be then for those that maybe don't play football? Is it quite demanding? What's it been like so far? I know it'll have been strange, with the groups of 6 and things like that, but has it still been that usual really demanding pre-season that we know?
Yeah, it's been difficult. I'm not going to lie. It's been really tough. The first 2 weeks we weren't allowed to tackle or that. It was pretty much just running with the ball and things like that. We were getting in maybe between 8 to 10k a day, high speed running as well, intense, short, sharp, twisting, turning. I think it's more mentally tough because you're doing it on your own and you're pretty much not doing it. It's not really football related. This week's been more tackling and things like that, but it's been really tough. It's been really, really tough. One of the hardest I've done so far, to be honest, my whole career.
Tackling, obviously, the Scottish Government have allowed us to tackle again in training, and realistically, when we were talking in the office about this, is you were one of the main men that we thought for contact training to give us a kind of big insight to it. How many fouls have you committed in training this week?
None. As I said, there's never any fouls unless it's a crazy tackle. As if you came and watched training the manager pretty much lets anything go, so toughens the boys up a bit. If you ask the strikers, I don't think they would want it any other way. They wouldn't want me to be passive. I think if I'm tackling them hard and training the way I play, they like that because then they're used to it come the weekend.
Talking about the weekend, we had Aaron McGowan on recently, and he said on a Saturday he will always wear studs on an Astro surface. Has he been giving it kind of big licks into the boys? He did say he was going to love a tackle, but he also did tell us that on his first couple of days, a lot of the boys were giving it, thank God you're in our team now and you're not going to kick us up and down every day.
Yeah, when he first came, I remember him for Hamilton. He kicked lumps at us, to be honest. So I asked the manager if we could line up and have a kick at him before he started. He taken it in good banter. Yeah, he's integrated well, to be fair to him. I've not actually seen him kick anyone yet. I think that'll be coming, but how he wears studs in Astro, I'll never know. His feet must be covered in blisters, to be honest.
Never mind that. Big Gal, the head groundsman, will be on top of him. He's wearing studs on that surface. The Gal will lock him up in the cupboard.
Well, I don't know if you're actually allowed to wear studs in Astro, are you?
I don't think you are meant to. If you can get away with that on a Saturday, I'll not say no, will you?
Yeah, no, definitely not. As long as he leaves a couple in the opposition, so I'll not be complaining.
You're a man that knows about leaving a couple in an opposition. Is that really what makes a good defender? Just letting the strikers know that you're there early doors?
Yeah, no, I think you need to be clever about it. I think, to be honest, when you go on a pitch, it doesn't matter who's your friend or the team you support. It's all about winning, and I'm one of those guys. When I step over that line, I'll do anything to win. And whether I be the bad guy or the nice guy, you just do what you got to do to win. But I do like to give the centre forward an early one to see what kind of mood he's in, whether he fancies it or not, and you can suss them out a wee bit with doing that.
You are known as being kind of a no-nonsense defender, a pretty honest defender, and really someone that takes no prisoners. I think that's probably quite certainly in Scottish football, it's a massive compliment that people say that about you, and some probably kind of fear you as well coming up against you.
Yeah, that's a nice compliment. I always give them all, no matter what. I'll give them all every game. I'll defend. My life depends on it. Yeah, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm only human. Everyone else does. But I'm going to give them all. And if there's a chance to play, I like to think I can play a wee bit. But first and foremost, it's all about defending and getting that clean sheet, and that's my job done.
You spoke about, obviously, your back operations and some injuries that you had, and when you had moved to St Mirren there during last season, you picked up an injury, and we had been talking, and you were desperate to come back to Kilmarnock. And is it really, really imperative now that you look after yourself? Because you're 36 next month, and so it'll take you a little bit longer to get back from these injuries, so you really have to keep yourself in peak condition to do what you want to do on a Saturday.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I've been actually fortunate. I don't really pick up muscle injuries. I look after myself. All my injuries have been impact or studs. Two of my injuries, my long-term injuries, are where my studs have caught in the grass, and I've broke my first, second, and third metatarsal, and that's what I actually did at St Mirren. My studs got caught, and I actually snapped my ligament in the middle of my foot, and that's why I was out for 3 months. It's been a little bit unlucky. The back operations is a bit doing too much in the gym. So I need to watch a wee bit like what I do in the gym now, but I still love it. But that the back operations become I was deadlifting too much and cleaning and things like that. So I need to be a wee bit careful with what I do with that.
When I look back at your career, it's probably safe to say it's been pretty glittering. You've played in some pretty high-profile games. You went down south as well. You spent time at Rotherham and at Blackpool. How does that kind of compare to being at the likes of Kilmarnock or Rangers or St Mirren as well? Is it a different pace in England?
It's actually a wee bit slower in England, to be honest. It's more tactical, but I wouldn't say that the way the English build up the leagues is miles ahead of Scotland. It's definitely not. The Scottish league is a hard, honest league. It is a wee bit like basketball at times, but that comes down to how we manage the game. And there was no one better than Steve Clark how to manage the game, and it proved over the course of a season. But and in terms of England, it was it wasn't miles ahead as what people make it out to be. Well, I only played Championship level for 5 years, so I can't compare to the Premier League. But in terms of Championship, it's a good league. But the Scottish Premier League is not miles behind, is what everyone says.
So it's safe to say you probably had some really good times down in England as well. And when you come back up to Scotland, what was that like? Was it a case of it was just the right time to come back to Scotland, or was it something that you and the family had wanted to do?
It was more a family decision, to be honest. I still had 2 years left in my contract at Rotherham. The kids were getting to that age now where they were Coles and Primary 1, Indy was starting nursery. We made that decision to come back for the kids. And to be frankly honest, I wasn't sure whether I would be able to play again after my back operations. Mm-hmm. It was one of those ones where I didn't want to be stuck in England away from my family and my mum, my dad and everyone, and I'm not playing, because when I was out for the whole year, it felt strange being down there when I didn't have family around about me. Obviously, I had my wife and kids, but it's not the same having everyone as your mum and dad and that. So when Lee McCulloch phoned me and asked me if I would come up, I signed a year. It was actually a 3-year contract, but it was more a 1 year, because in the contract it was like, if I can't go back to where I was, I would have walked away. And lucky enough, I worked hard and I got back. And I eventually got used to the Astro, and then I've taken it from there. And now, hopefully, I feel as fit and as strong as I've ever. To be honest, at the age of 35, to be fair.
Yeah, it's certainly something that you can see. I remember you coming in against Ayr United. I think you probably looked a little bit rusty that game. In fact, I don't think anyone really looked phenomenal against Ayr United that day, and it's not something that we overly want to touch on. But you're talking there about you were thinking about giving it up, or you might have to have given it up. Was there a plan? Did you have another career progression in place, or were you wanting to move into coaching, or were you moving out of football? What were your thoughts at that point?
Well, I actually done all my coaching badges that year because I didn't think I would come back. Actually, the first stop I come back and I had the second op in my back, and it was a case of we might need to fuse your back, which Tiger Woods has got, where he's come back and played at a higher level. I'm not comparing myself to Tiger Woods. I'm just saying in terms of operations. It was one of those ones where I might never be the same. I might never be able to run, and that's one of my strong points in my game. I can run all day. It was one of those things. So I did my coaching badges. Hopefully, like the chairman at Rotherham said, I could always go into the coaching side there. But I think my mind was made up that I wanted to come home for my family more than anything. So I done my coaching badges. I came up and gave it a year to try and see if I could get back to playing. And after probably 4 or 5 months, round about maybe November, I felt more like my old self that first season back at Kilmarnock. And it did take time, and obviously getting used to the Astro after having 2 backups, taking a wee while as well, to be fair.
Safe to say you're probably kind of quite at home at Kilmarnock. You're an Ayrshire man. You've grown up round about Ayrshire, so obviously Kilmarnock's a club you'll have known well. You've got family that have supported Kilmarnock all their life as well, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. My brother-in-law and his family are all season ticket holders for the last 30 years. Yeah, I love the club, to be honest. I'm only up the road at Mauchline. There's a supporters club up here. I'm originally from Drongan, obviously, which is just over the road. But my kids go to Gargison and Kilmarnock, the school there. So we're local, and my kids enjoy Kilmarnock. They don't see anything else. It's Kilmarnock for them. I don't push them down the road or anything. It's up to them what they do, who they support. My wee boy doesn't actually like football. He's more into rugby, so it's all their decision. Whereas when I grew up, it was all about Rangers, and you support Rangers, and that's no matter what. So Kilmarnock's the big part of my family now.
I think that's one thing as well. We're going back to kind of talking about being honest and things like that. You've never shied away from the fact that you grew up a dyed-in-the-wool Rangers fan. You got to play for Rangers. That must have been a bit of a dream move, and all that kind of came about as well, playing for the team that you loved growing up.
Yeah, it was. Obviously, I said I come from Drongan. I don't think there's a fan of any other team in Drongan. it was always Rangers, and to eventually play with them, it was fantastic for myself and my family. And it was when I signed the contract with Walter, and that my dad was there and he was crying and that. So it was a massive day for my family, and it was one that I'll take to my grave with me. But yeah, it was always a dream come true to go there.
So is there a statue of you then in Drungan's Main Street then of Kirk Broadfoot?
No, definitely no.
What was it like then? You played for Scotland. Your debut, I think, if I remember correctly, was against Iceland in 2008. That'd be right, and you scored that day as well. That brings up the whole club and country thing, but scoring for Scotland on your debut, massive.
Yeah, I think scoring for your country's got to be bigger than anything. Even making your debut, but to score on your debut is huge, obviously, to play for your country. I'm just a bit gutted it wasn't at Hampden and my family were there, but it was still a massive occasion and one that I'll cherish. And obviously, as you said, that it's a family thing. It's not just for me, it was for my mum, my dad and my sisters and things like that. So it was a huge day.
You let's say you've had a really good career. You've been to England, you've come back to Scotland, and you just seem really kind of settled now. Is it a case of seeing out your years at the likes of Kilmarnock? Is that the kind of plan that you would like to do? I mean, Chris Burke has said something very similar as well.
Yeah, I don't want to move again. Last year was a freak season, to be honest. I had no plans to move. It never crossed my mind, but I was always honest with myself. I wouldn't stay somewhere where things wasn't right just for the sake of picking up a wage and mumping and moaning. So I made that decision to move on for myself and the club. I couldn't come home every day unhappy. But as it stands just now, I would finish my career at Kilmarnock 100%, working with the manager and Andy Mullen and the club in general. As I say, it's a big part of my family and I do love it there. And it is a fantastic club, a family club, and everyone makes you welcome. And I really enjoy my time there.
Yeah, there was fans said there obviously football. You know what football fans are like. They've got their say on everything that a player does. But at the end of the day, you've got to come home happy to your family. And if you're not happy in your work, and this goes not just for footballers, Kurt, but for everybody. If I'm not happy, or our production team aren't happy, or my friends aren't happy in their job, then there's not really much point in staying there until as time as you could maybe come back and be happy, is there? You've got to think of the family.
Yeah, of course. As you say, it's in every walk of life. If you're not happy in your work, then what's the point in being there? I've always said it, like the day I don't enjoy training or playing again, I will walk away for the game. And it was the same. I wasn't enjoying it. I was mumping and moaning every day, and I wasn't the only one, though. Mm-hmm. But I did something about it. That's my decision at the end of the day. And that's the way it was. I wasn't coming home and being crabbit to my kids and my wife. I just didn't think it was fair. So I taken a big gamble and I walked away. I had no team lined up, I had nothing. And then obviously I got a call the next day to go to St Mirren, and that's the way it worked out.
You've played with quite a few players over the years. Chris Boyd and you were kind of probably quite close as well. You've come back to Kilmarnock. He was there. You played alongside him at Rangers. I've seen a few videos of you getting hair done and having banter and stuff like that. We've got his 100 goal top over our shoulder here on set. And what was he kind of like? He's always been that kind of bantered character, but do you give it as good as you get off a Boyd? Is that how you need to play somebody like him?
Sometimes you just got to take your medicine for Boyd, because once you go back for him, he'll never give up. So you just take it sometimes, because he's relentless. He just keeps coming and coming. But no, Boyd is a great guy. It's strange how we're two local boys that end up playing with Rangers at the same time and then playing with Kilmarnock at the same time. Obviously, he's had a great career as well, and he's a top man. And what he's doing now for charity is fantastic. But yeah, he's a good lad, and he has got great banter, to be fair.
That's all we'll say on that. We kind of let his head get bigger and bigger and bigger. The next interview he does, he'll not be able to do anything. Football's coming back. We've been told that it looks as if we're on course for a start the first week of August. There's going to be no fans in the stadium, Kirk. How big a thing is that going to be? Alex seems to reckon that the players will get used to it. You guys will get used to it maybe after the first game or the second game or so. It's going to be a big thing when you don't have the fans there for that extra 1 or 2% to get you over the line.
Yeah, fans are huge. It's a true saying, football's not the same without fans. But at the end of the day, it's coming back, and we're lucky enough it is coming back. And hopefully we can go into games and get that extra 2% in your head that you need to, because you need to win. And getting off to the start of the season's massive and getting a good start. So hopefully we can get going, and then we can get the fans back when they do come back, and we're up near the top fighting for that European place.
Is that a personal target then of yours? You want to just strive to be as good as we can all the time?
Yeah, of course. It's got to be. I go into every game thinking I'm going to win. I want to win. I don't see the point in playing if you don't think you're going to win or you don't want to win. So it's win at all costs. And I think we've got a squad with a good core at think the same. So if we can add 1 or 2 additions to that, and then hopefully we can get back to where we were and get up there challenging for Europe.
You talk about winning at all costs. I'm sure I've read somewhere that when you were in England, it took you a long time to get your head around the fact that if you come off the park with a draw, a lot of the boys might have been happy with that, whereas you would be coming in, or if you'd lost, you'd be coming in kicking the water bottles all over the place.
Yeah, it's a strange mentality in England. I don't know if it's because there's so many games. It's like if you win one, lose one, that's okay. Whereas I couldn't accept that. I wanted to win every game, no matter what. Mm-hmm. I do get that players will try and win, but I just couldn't accept that we come in and we get beaten. It was a case of unlucky music on, as if it was okay. It's not okay. You want to win every game, and that's what we get paid for, and that's what we're there for. So that's what you should be doing.
I want to move on now. There's still loads and loads that we could be talking about, but obviously I know you've got another gym session, and I don't really want to get fined by the gaffer for keeping you out of the gym. We're going to move in now. Every interview in the world always has a bit in it, and Aaron McGowan pointed this out to us, the fact that he thought that our interview was the best ever. Shameless plug for us. But we just had a chat and a bit of banter with him. Now his banter's honking, which I'm sure you'll back me up. It is, isn't it?
Oh, he's a scouser.
That's all we need to say on that. But the thing he liked is we didn't really ask him much about goals and aspirations. So we've come up with the cheesy interview question section, where I'm going to put on my best Jim White voice, and I'm going to ask you just a couple of really cheesy questions that every interview should have. Are you all right with that?
Yep. Fire away.
Right, first off then, in the cheesy interview question section is, Kirk, what are your goals and aspirations for the season ahead?
To finish top 6 and pushing for European place.
Personal goals?
To score more than 1 goal a season.
That would be good for all of us. What does Killie mean to you?
Killie means a lot to me and my family. It's a local club, and they do a lot for the community. So anything to help the community is great. So it's a fantastic club that way.
And finally, Kirk, on this section of getting to know you, how special a club are Kilmarnock?
Top draw special.
Well, I think that's just a line from the entire interview. Top draw special. It was a bit of a closed question. So, by the way, how would you rate? How would you rate my Jim White voice there?
Fantastic.
I'll take that then. So it is a special club. It's a place that we've found out that you really want to you would love to end your career at. You didn't want to, this is where you want to be. I want to kind of get to know you a little bit more as well. I want to kind of delve a little bit deeper into some of the players. We've got a quiz at the end that I want to ask you some more questions. But in the dressing room right now, who are the kind of the main characters? Who's got the kind of the top drawer banter? We've established that Aaron is a Scouser, has got honking banter. So who's the big characters in the dressing room right now?
The big characters?
Yeah. Ooh. Apart from yourself at 6 foot, whatever.
We're not really in the dressing room now, but the loud ones are probably myself, Gary Dicker, Ross Millen, Bucky in a wee bit, Alan Power a wee bit. They dip in and out, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But probably we've got a coffee club with it's myself, Chris Buck, Ross Millen, Alan Power, and Greg Kiltie. Mm-hmm. So I would say we're together all the time. So I've got to mention these guys.
Andy Millen obviously has played for Kilmarnock. We're talking about Ross there. He's come in as a number 2. How big a thing is that for us? I mean, Andy's got a wealth of experience. He knows the game inside out as well. And obviously him and Alex have got a really, really good relationship going as well.
Huge. It's huge. Andy's a top draw coach. I've said it many times in many interviews. He's probably the biggest influence in my career. And he can only help the younger ones, but it will demand from the senior boys. There's no getting away from that. So he'll take us on that next level, and the two of them working together can only be good for Kilmarnock. So the gaffer and Andy will bring demands that the club need to keep striving to push forward.
He's going to be that good sounding board for the senior pros like yourself, or even the younger boys to go to in case they maybe don't want to go to the manager, or maybe they just don't want to trouble the manager if he's dealing with something else. Then a good number 2 will always be a kind of good sounding board to the boys.
Yeah, he's approachable. He's one of the nicest guys off the pitch you'll meet. But so the gaffer's a good guy as well, but also demands as well. So they're both approachable, but they both make demands, and I think that's what every player needs. You can't come in to training thinking, "Oh, I'm okay today." There's no demands. There needs to be demands and standards every day, and that's what they will push for.
Well, we look forward to that. We know Alex, obviously, he's been at the club for quite a while now and is quite a demanding kind of guy, but he's really kind of laid back. He enjoys a little bit of banter as well with the boys, doesn't he?
Yeah, the gaffer does, to be fair. Yeah, he's actually got some good banter, to be fair to him.
Well, does he? Can you give us an insight into some of his banter, or is that a bit
No, I can't have been mentioning him today with the gaffer. He'll get me fined there.
I was trying my best, but I thought we'll wrap it up at that. So, Kirk, we've got...
He tried to fine me today for my socks.
What? How? Why? What socks are you wearing? You don't got Rick and Morty ones on, do you?
No, I wear ones for blisters.
Right.
So, because the one of the Hummel ones, he was like, "That's a fine." He was trying to fine me a £5 a sock today.
Did they look horrendous, or were they actually? Did they look okay? Did they match or anything? Or?
No, they were good ones, but I folded them over, so it never gave any sponsorship away or that.
So you've tried to pull the wool over the gaffer's eyes 2 weeks into training. That's what you're telling us.
Well, I've got to be. I get bad blisters on the Astro, so I've got to wear these socks.
Did he fine you, or did you pay it, or what?
I gave him a big cuddle and said, "Please let me away with it." And he said, "I'll let you away with it this time."
I've just got this image in my head of Alex Dyer, going round everyone's boots and with a magnifying glass going, "You've not got Hummel on today, mate." And then giving you a fine.
He's just trying to get his kitty up for the fine money.
He's wanting a night. This the night out money before Christmas. Then.
Hopefully we can all get one of them.
That would be quite nice. Right, Kurt, we've not got long left, so I'm going to ask you a series of quick fire questions so we can really kind of get to know you. First off then, what's your favourite food?
Chicken fajita wraps.
Nice. Favourite drink?
Sparkling water.
Favourite restaurant?
The Niche in Irvine.
Nice. Favourite holiday destination?
Dubai.
Dream car?
A Lambo Jeep.
Oh, the Urus, the same as Billy. But have you had a shot at Billy Bowie's yet?
Nope. If you want to put a good word in for me, I'm more than happy for you to do that.
I will, don't worry. Billy Bowie, if you're watching this, Kirk will stay for another 5 years if you give him a shot of that. You heard it here first. What was your first car?
A Seat Ibiza.
Nice. What's your current car?
A Range Rover Sport.
Favourite place to visit in Ayrshire?
Largs for
Nice.
ice cream.
Oh, Nardini's. Favourite TV show?
Game of Thrones.
Hobbies? Any sort of big hobbies that you've got?
Golf.
Right. What's your handicap apart from you?
15.
That's not too bad. Not as good as Rory, clearly. And what's the most
No.
interesting or best bit of memorabilia that you've got?
Probably my Rio Ferdinand, that top I swapped with him in the Champions League.
And one more. Who is the toughest or most awkward player that you've defended against in your career?
Ibrahimovic.
Machine?
Tank. Fast.
Could you get anywhere near him?
Have him? No.
And on that, I think we'll leave it there because we're looking forward to you getting very close to a lot of the centre forwards for the season ahead. Kirk, we wish you all the best, mate. We're looking forward to obviously having the fans buy their digital season tickets. It'll be a big thing, I suppose, knowing that all the fans will be watching as well. It's hugely important that they do buy their season tickets.
Yeah, of course. Not only to support the boys and that, it supports the manager because it will give him a bigger budget to try and bring in players to help everyone. And if we can bring in players that help the squad and the squad are doing well, great. But yeah, I know it's difficult times at the moment, but if the fans can dig deep and buy that virtual season ticket, it can only help the club. And that's only a good thing.
And competition for places is always a big thing. Just in the last 30 seconds, Kirk, that's a huge thing for you as well.
Yeah, huge. You need competition all over the park, and that's my own position as well. I think there needs to be players coming in even in my own position, and that only makes players train harder, play better, and the best man can play.
Well, we'll look forward to what you've got in the locker for the season ahead. Kirk, have you enjoyed your time on Killie TV?
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks very much.
I'm glad you didn't say it was Houghton. Good man. We look forward to seeing you back on the park pretty soon, Kirk. All the best.